hold up. This gun, while near and dear to my heart, as it was the first shotgun I ever purchased, was from like 2007. It's time to update the Mossberg 500 review by going retro. No, not actually old retro, but new, but looks retro. This is the Mossberg 500 Retro. So if you're looking for a detailed, in-depth review, you've come to the right place. Let's go! So I realized that with this shotgun being so old, the review maybe wasn't the most ideal. I should do an updated review of the Mossberg 500. So I reached out to my friends at Mossberg and said, what do you got that I could have? And I said, well, we got this Retrograde. And I said, perfect. Because I saw this at SHOT Show and I thought, I love the look of that gun. The Mossberg 500 has been one of the best selling pump shotguns in all of history, selling over 12 million since 1961. Very versatile, tried and true. We're gonna put it to the test today. Does the new keep up with the old? That is what we're gonna determine. First, let's just look at the specs really quick. This is a 12 gauge shotgun. The Retro only comes in the 12 gauge. I believe the regular field gun 20 and 410 options. The MSRP of this Retro is $606, but if you went to a retailer like my favorite sporting good retailer, you could probably find it for a lot less than that. The 500 is a 3-inch gun and tips the scale according to Mossberg's website at 7.5 pounds. But instead of taking their word for it, let's get out our scale. It's lighter than they say. Often guns are heavier than they say. Looks like we're coming in just over about 7 pounds, 2 ounces. We'll do some comparison throughout this video. What's the difference between these two? When I bought this gun, this was a bird buck combo, so it had the slug barrel and the bird barrel. Let's see what this weighs, out of curiosity. Would you believe it? About the same. Diving further into the specs, let's look at the length of pull. I'm sure that is the same between both guns. We're looking at 13 and about 7/8, real close to 7/8. That gun is short for me. This is actually a little bit longer, 14 inches. Well, I wonder why in the world they went shorter. That doesn't make sense. This gun is already too short at 14 inches. Let me double check that. Steve, did you do something wrong? Nope, it's at least an 1/8 inch shy, maybe 3/32 shy of 14 inches. So shorter on the length of pull. The drop at the peak is 1 5/8 inches. Drop at the heel is 2 3/8. So we got about a 3/4 inch drop on this gun. It is primarily intended for field, but you can certainly bust some clays with it. One last thing I like to take a look at with specs is the trigger. Yeah, that is short. Trigger has got a little sponginess to it. Doesn't feel bad. As far as weight of the trigger, I'm gonna say, ooh, look at that. It's about a 6.5, 7 pound trigger. 6 pounds, 5.2 ounces. 6 pounds, 8.8 ounces, and one more for good measure. 6 pounds, 6 ounces. So we're looking at an average of 6.5 pounds. Look at that, wow. I was actually close for once in my life. 6.5 pound trigger. I'm okay with that. I think that's a pretty decent trigger for price point of gun we're looking at. The 500 comes with AccuSet choke tubes. I've already went ahead and replaced those with a Carlson's choke tube. If you're ever interested in Carlson's, I do have a link and discount code in the description. When we look at the ergonomics now, that's the form, the function. What are we looking at on this gun? A few different things stand out to me. I like the top tang safety. It takes a little bit getting used to if you're already used to the crossbolt, but right or left-handed, you can easily get to that safety with your thumb. The trigger guard, very standard, not oversized. The slide release is located on the left side of the shotgun, right here. One other thing to point out with this receiver, it is drilled and tapped, so you could put a Picatinny rail on there, mount optics, gives you some options there, which I definitely love. I really like the look of this gun. The dark stained walnut, the corn cob forend, it just looks cool in my opinion. The Mossberg is a flat-ribbed, vented rib with a brass mid-bead and ivory front bead. I noticed one difference between these two guns is in the butt pad. If you take a gander at the butt pads here. Now, one thing I didn't love about the original 500 is that butt pad is rock hard. Now, neither of these have a lot of squish, but this one, like, even with a thumb, there's no give, just rock hard. And I always thought it was a hard recoiling gun. Now, this one, recoil pad is slightly better. I was gonna go put a Falcon Strike on this, but the screw holes didn't align. I might have to get a different Falcon Strike to fit it. Definitely would help with the recoil. I do use this one in live shows. As far as ergonomics, I like it for the most part. Texture is very basic. The thing I maybe don't love, and maybe I have short arms, I don't know. The gun's too short for me, right? But even though it's too short, if I get my hand on the fore end and go out here, I feel like my arm is really far extended. Like, I like my arm a little bit more in here. I wish the fore end extended down and I'd have more area to grab a hold of. Because if this gun was even as long as it should be, which would be about out there, I'm really extending far forward. But again, it could be my short arms. I'm gonna kind of shoot some rounds through both of these guns, see if we really experience any difference. I'll do it really quick, back to back. All right, let's do this in quick, orderly fashion, just like a fire drill. Ooh, that's a little sticky. Would you believe it if I told you they felt pretty much the same? Let's look at recoil with some clay birds here. Coming off the machine right in front of us, nice and easy. All right, feels pretty good on the clay birds. Let's do that one more time. Definitely not the lightest recoiling gun, but overall I like it. Let's see if we can shuck some shells real quick. Just real quick, machine them, right? Woo, pretty good action, pretty good movement there. Recoil-wise, it's got more recoil than I'd like. A lot of pump shotguns do, I'll be honest. Just the way that they function, you end up taking more recoil. They don't often put great recoil pads on them. This is something I'll look to change on this gun, especially since I use it in exhibitions. Just putting a different recoil pad on there, a Falcon Strike. I do have a link to them in the description. But recoil, pretty standard. I wouldn't say it's any more than a lot of the pump shotguns out there. It's definitely not less than the other pump shotguns out there, but so what does that mean? It's certainly not more, it's definitely not less. It means it's right up in there with all the rest of the pump shotguns. Okay, moving on from recoil. I have experienced great reliability with the Mossberg 500. With all the people watching this video, I bet you have experience with the Mossberg 500. What do you think? Is it a workhorse? Has it worked well? Does it hold up? Have you had issues with it? Put it in the comments or tune in to the TFL community where we can all share and get better together. But I think this is a gun that's gonna hold up for a long time with very few issues. Let's see how it works. Oh yeah, right on target. It's like I'm target focused. Ha! Oh, there we go. That one about got away. Do you think people ever watch the videos and they're like, why is he acting so weird all of a sudden? Let me tell you why. It's Mountain Ops Ignite. Energy and focused. So when you see those videos, you're just like, he's at another level. It's usually because I've been drinking Ignite and I feel great. So now this is the Retrograde, but there's a lot of variations. So many that I'm not gonna list them off. But if you wanna pause the video and check them out, go ahead. The Mossberg 500 is truly one of the most versatile guns with the most variations out there. That's all fine and dandy. Let's see how it breaks down. We got the cap here, which is attached to the barrel, like so. Trigger guard, single pin design, like that. Ooh, that came out nice and easy. Trigger group rotates out like that. There's an extractor on both sides. This one fell out. You gotta be careful. Remember where stuff came from. That came from the left side. Extractor on the right side. Oh, there we go. We went back. The bolt disengaged from the slides. We gotta take the bolt out. There we go. pushed it out the front of the receiver. And then we even have the lifter there that can be popped out, I think with tension. Just squeeze it. There's 2 pins on the side and that comes out. I used to shoot this gun all the time. It was the only gun I had, so believe it or not, I shot it all the time. It's very important how you put this gun back together. The elevator goes in first. There's holes on the back of the receiver that it clips into. Boom, okay? We take the bolt, slide it through the front of the receiver. It's gonna feel clunky. It's not gonna really feel like it's making any sense, but slide it in there. And then we make sure the elevator is down, push down, bolts in. Next, this is important. The slide assembly goes on, and then you kind of have to push the slides down, slide them back all the way to the bolt. This next piece goes on, and all the grooves that are, you gotta put it in just the right way to get it to fit. There we go. Okay, it takes some finagling, a little back and forth, making sure everything lines up. And then we're gonna insert the shell stops. I believe earlier in the video I called these extractors. These are not extractors. The extractors are on the bolt. It does have 2 extractors. These are not the extractors. Okay, so left side 1. These are the shell stops. Go in. Right side. I think part of what makes this challenging is everything that has to be done in a specific order. And there's a lot of moving pieces that can pop out if you don't do it just right. We have all that in. Trigger group slides back in. I think that encapsulates the shell stoppers. We're back together, but are we functional? We shall find out. Certainly not the easiest gun to take apart and put back together. That is why I don't clean it very often, but hey, it's tried and true. It's been around for a long time. It is time to get to some speed shooting. How does this gun all come together? The trigger, the pointability, the cycling in the original review of this gun. 3 clays in 1.34 seconds. Can I beat that with a pump shotgun? I want to say I can because I don't think that's a great time. Let's see. It'd probably be easier if my hands weren't full of oil from just taking that gun apart. But this corn cob forend, it's gonna help me out, man. Oh, 2 of them. I tell you what, getting this gun up and mounting it is hard when you're holding it this high. It's just so unnatural for me. It's hard to run fast. My hands just want to run right off of it if I get that aggressive. Well, I missed the last one. It was a 138. It's tough to go fast with this. All right, guys, I'm struggling. This is tough. My hand's slipping off. I grabbed some gloves. I got some stickies. Hopefully, they're not real sticky. Hopefully this helps because it's been tough going. Helps a little bit. They're not perfect. I need like some receiver gloves to stick them. 3 clays. Incredibly slow. Okay, we've updated tactics once again. Had to go get my son's football glove. A little tight, but here we go. What a difference. 135. So close. All right, I think we got it now though. 116. Did it come easy? Absolutely not. Did I miss more than a hit? Probably. That was a battle of endurance. I didn't want to give up. I knew I could get faster. But as far as speed shooting this gun, no. It is not made for speed shooting. The grip is too slippery. Had to put this glove on. Sorry, Rylan, I got your glove all dirty. That extension on the forend, you know, having to have my arm so far out, that slows me down. Just because of how I have to hold the gun when I come to mount. It's really hard to get the gun up there. That slows me down. But a 116, the throw is maybe cheated a little bit, but my splits are slow. A 3.1 and a 3.3. Really not a fast shooting gun. But overall, a workhorse at a decent price, cool looking gun, as long as you're not speed shooting. I would be okay with it. Going out and busting some clays, shooting some pheasants. I really don't know what else to say other than I'm kind of exhausted. That was a lot of work. But there's a look at the Mossberg 500 Retro. Let me know your thoughts down below, and remember, whether you're in the field or in life, It's only those shots that you're laser focused on that you're gonna hit. So live target focused. See ya.